Well, this is my third time recording a video for this week. First time I was originally just gonna do some small discussion thing, because I wasn't gonna be home to have time to record like actual gameplay for stuff. Then they announced this giant update, so I was like, okay, I'll do my first impressions on that. Then most of the update actually came out, so guess I'm reviewing patch 2.0. This is the big ones. It's the Splatoon 2 equivalent of the legendary August 2015 update for Splatoon 1 that first introduced squads and private battles. So, we kind of just have to start here. I don't have that much of an intro besides that. So let's go. I'm just reading straight down the patch notes, which is kind of bad because I think Salmon Run is below the actual weapon changes, which is always the meat of these reviews, but I don't know. We'll see how this goes. First off, 140 new pieces of gear. That's always a good thing. Not really anything bad to say about it. A lot of pieces of gear from the first game are coming back, including a lot of ones that people missed, as well as a bunch of pretty cool looking new ones, as well as just more options for gear is always a good thing. Unless it was all really ugly, which it wasn't. And also, if you buy a piece of gear with a unique ability that it normally won't have through Splatnet, you can now, if that gear shows up in the shop, you can now buy the regular version of that and replace the Splatnet version. So you could sort of swap around your gear to the way it's supposed to be, quote-unquote, if you have a Splatnet version, and you could just... It's so you don't permanently lose access to the regular version of that gear, basically. Also got 2 new hairstyles and 2 new leg wear. I mean, neither of the male hairstyles are particularly great, but they're there. It's more customization options. It's a good thing, I guess. 5 new music tracks. These are all good. If you think they're not, you're wrong. I'm sorry. If you made it this far, you're probably okay with listening to one of them in the background anyway, so hopefully you agree with me here. But I like this new music. Again, always a good thing. This isn't competitive related, so I'm not going to be like as harsh on it, especially since a lot of these things are just kind of objectively good if they exist no matter what they are. Then the new photo function with amiibo functionality. I'm assuming this is just because they were like, hey, Super Mario Odyssey's photo mode is like the most popular thing in that game. Let's add a better version of that to Splatoon 2. So they added the ability to take pictures with the amiibo characters in the actual maps while carrying weapons, and then added photo filters to make it a little more like Odyssey's photo mode. Then the ranking thing. This is cool. Max level is now 99. You can also prestige in a Splatoon game, which is... I'm never going to get over how funny that is to me. You can revert to level 1 star if you speak to Judd after hitting level 99. Apparently you get 70 snails for that. So it's a really good thing. And you can get more level up prizes along the way. As well as, you can stay with whatever weapons you've unlocked and whatever gear you have, and presumably stay in rank and stuff like that. And then if you reach star 99, which is basically maxing out first prestige, you could start over again. Unfortunately, it's not like 2-star 1, you just go back to star 1. Even though you can see the amount of times you've reverted to level 1 on Splatnet, so it's like, it does keep track of how many times you've prestiged, but you can't really show people. So, I don't know. It is infinite snails, though. There is now a way to get as many snails as you want, basically as long as you keep playing the game, so that is a good thing. As well as, again, I can say I am prestiged in Splatoon 2 for the Nintendo Switch, and I love the fact that I'll be able to say that someday. Now, ranked change. This is not really a huge, big deal, but they sort of changed the way they judge how much time, or whether or not you lose rank if you lose when someone on your team's DC'd. The match will now be judged from the time the player became idle. So if someone stays idle for 30 seconds, then they will DC. Previously, it would count the game as if they just randomly DC'd after the 30 seconds, even though it was only a 3v4, even though it was a 3v4 for the 30 seconds they were idle. Now the algorithm will go back and look through those 30 seconds and take those into consideration too. So you're less likely to lose points if someone on your team DCs now, which is good. The food truck got 2 new options to raise EXP and money earned by 2.5 times, which is a boost to the 1.5 and 2, so it's just another level of that. Good thing. Let's see. Oh, this is another big quality of life thing. You can change gear in between regular, ranked, and solo Splatfest now. This is something people have wanted basically since the first game release, so it took a few years to do. I don't know. Let's see. They also changed the stage selection screen for PBs, which is good. They added a random toggle for the random map option in PBs, so you can take some stages out of the random rotation, which is good if you're like, okay, these are the maps for this tournament, and I can see that, like, Kelp Dome isn't played much, so we'll take that out of the random rotation, just play the other ones. Then, oh, this is the biggest quality of life thing in the world. Oh, yeah. Team selection. If someone DCs from a private battle, it previously would be that, okay, if the order of the teams were Alpha, 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 Bravo, 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 for, like, players 1 through 8 in the PB list, and say player 3 DCs, so one of the alpha people, then it will be player 1 will still be alpha, player 2 will still be alpha, player 4 will be alpha, player 5 will be alpha, and then 6, 7, and 8 would be Bravo. It would screw up the teams, and you'd have to reset it completely. Now it keeps track of teams by person, which is really good, so you can only you only need to change the person that came back, which is really good. I've had many problems with that screwing people up in tournaments. I've never made the mistake myself, actually, but people on my teams, people on teams I've played against, they don't remember to do that. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. During Splatfests, a deployment diagram of Inkopolis Square during the Splatfest will be shown on the main menu map. I don't know what that means. I think it just means there was... Oh, I know what it means. The map in the main menu where you can choose which area to go to, like if you go to the lobby or one of the shops, it would always display the regular version even during a Splatfest, so this time it means they just made a new version of the map for Splatfests to better reflect what the game actually looks. Okay, that's cool. Change the posting function. It'll now save unfinished posts. Okay, that's more quality of life things. And you'll be able to continue working on it even after you restart the software, so that's kind of cool. I guess they just freed up some RAM or something. That would be RAM. I don't know. It's cool. It's cool. We take those. And here we go. Finally. How long have I been recording? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 7 minutes and 59 seconds, and we're only just getting the multiplayer changes. I like this. Okay. There's a huge amount of bug fixes here before we can even get to the balancing stuff. So let's see. Reduced. Oh, this is different. This isn't bug fixes. These are universal, like, overall changes to the mechanics. Reduce the amount of time between a player taking damage and beginning to recover HP from 1.5 seconds to 1 second. So you get your health back a lot faster now, which is really cool. And that sort of indirectly nerfs things like Stingray, which can, like, clip you for some damage. Then when you haven't recovered yet, come back and clip you again, even if you're swimming away, so that's pretty cool. Slightly increase the height a player can jump while standing in opponent's ink, that's pretty cool. And it looks like, actually, yeah, it increased your base ink resistance without equipping any ink resist up gear, because it also slightly delayed the timing in which your movement speed and jumping power are reduced, so you'll be able to move and jump at normal abilities for a little bit longer. And you're easier, it specifically says as a sub-dot, it's able to make it easier for players who've unintentionally stepped in opponent's ink to move over obstacles. So that's kind of cool. If there's like a small blop of enemy ink there and the rest of it's surrounded in your color, you won't get penalized for not covering the entire area of the map as much, which is pretty nice. And then also darken the color of low areas on the in-game maps to make it easier to distinguish from areas outside the maps. I don't know, I guess people are having trouble with that. I never did. Sound effects have been changed. The Toxic Mist effect will now be played again when an opponent enters the area, so you can tell when your mist is getting people, which is cool. Point Sensor and Toxic Mist sound effects are made easier to hear when they go off, so if you're on the team against someone with those subs, you'll be able to tell when they have them more often, which is pretty nice. Apparently, the Inkjet sound has been changed to have more directional influence to it, so you can tell where they are in relation to you, which is nice. Apparently there was a rare bug where charger sound effects wouldn't play, and that's been fixed. And all exploding things have had their sound effects before they explode increased too. So it's easier to tell where enemy sub-weapons are, basically, and the inkjet, which is pretty nice. Oh, there's a huge amount of actual bug fixes now. Let's see. There was some bug where a sloshing machine direct on an enemy that had just lost invincibility for some reason was doing less damage. That was fixed. They fixed the dualies slipping through the map bug, as well as... Oh, there was some... Oh, I didn't even know this. There was a desync in Umbrella launches. So, like, if you launch the Umbrella part of the Umbrella, it would appear in a slightly different position on everyone else's screen compared to yours. So they fixed that. I didn't even know that was a thing. Let's see. There was the weird way you could power shield with Umbrella to avoid damage from explosions. That was removed. There was some weird issue with people that were armored that were shown to be killed even when they couldn't be. So that was fixed. Let's see. There's a Rainmaker bug showing things that made things not... that's really weird. In Rainmaker, there were sloped areas in the zone of Starfish main stage that wouldn't display as having been inked on the in-game map, so that was fixed. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. This one's just funny wording. Fixed an issue causing ink fired at the center mast on Manta Maria to drip in an unnatural manner. That's hilarious. That wording is hilarious to me for some reason, but okay. I don't really know how much of an effect that's going to have. And it fixed another issue where players get stuck on grates in Manta Maria. That's cool. Fixed a Kelp Dome issue where you could ink the ground beneath uninkable surfaces and get points for it. They fixed the thing where ink storms would disappear if they hit the grates on Kelp. That's good. Fixed a couple Snapper Canal bugs. As well as... Okay, here now we're getting to the actual mode things, which is good, because I don't even know about a lot of these map bugs myself. The tower control... There was a bug where if the tower hit a bubble blower bubble and then move at the same speed as the... Okay, they fixed some sort of bug with tower control and bubbles. Fixed a visual Rainmaker bug that involved baller explosions. Fixed another Rainmaker bug that caused you to take direct damage from things that you shouldn't have taken direct damage from. I like this. Fixed another Rainmaker shield bug, and an issue on a couple maps where the don't retreat warning wasn't showing up. That's weird. I guess that just must be a programming quirk, because you'd think that the don't retreat thing would just be, it would be something that would be like programmed into Rainmaker itself, as opposed to you need to add the code for it on every additional map. Now, this was Manta Maria and Snapper Canal, so this is some of the more recent maps anyway, so it does make sense that it would need to be fixed on those specifically. I just think it's weird that it wasn't just built into Rainmaker to begin with, but what do I know? I don't know how programming things work, so that's all the bug fixes. Tri-Slosher, by the way, has been buffed almost entirely back to the way it was, besides damage, I think. Or besides range. So it's original Tri-Slosher range with buffed damage and speed. And in accordance with that, it got 20 point special reduction, which is pretty good. Splattershot got 10 point special increase. Okay. What the hell? Oh my god. This might just be a text error, but this apparently, in the English patch notes, but this says that the Hero Shot replica actually takes 10 less points to charge special than the vanilla Splattershot, which is probably a typo, because it says Splattershot was increased from 190 to do 200, and Hero Shot was increased from 180 to 190. I'm hoping that that's just a typo, and Hero Shot wasn't just objectively better the entire time, because, I mean, I've been using Hero Shot the entire time, but That would make me feel even worse about losing the Tentatex. Range Blaster got a 10-point increase, as well as Vanilla Umbrella. Here we go. Now it's finally time for the main weapon change things. Let's go. Jet Squelcher got an increased shot speed while not changing range, so that's good. It's very accurate weapon, so this lets it kill faster. The Splattershot Pro got a similar buff too. Luna Blaster got increased ink coverage on a wall, which will help you move around by yourself better, which is good because Luna's kind of bad this time. Vanilla and Custom Blaster now ink your feet a little more, as well as Hero Blaster Replica, which is the same thing as Vanilla Blaster, never mind. Squiffer got a bit of turf increase. Actually, all Chargers got a turf increase. Wow, that's pretty decent. Chargers can get special better now. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it doesn't say an amount, but every Charger is listed as having that change and nothing else. Which, I mean, oh well. I feel like Chargers could still use a better buff than that, but I don't know. Tri-Slosher got a run speed while attacking buff by 10%, and its damage was changed back to 62. I mean, Tri-Slosher can be used again. It was the best weapon in the game, then it was awful, and now it's probably going to be decent. I mean, we take those. Tentabrella got a huge buff. It's almost viable now. The amount of time between shooting and the umbrella popping out was cut in 3. It's now half a second from 1.5 seconds, just ridiculous. The time it takes to regain the umbrella after launching it goes back to has been decreased from 9 seconds to 6 seconds. And okay, it did get one nerf where a launched umbrella will now stay on stage only for 6 seconds instead of 8, which actually means that the instant it's destroyed, it'll come back, which is pretty cool. And then the amount of ink necessary to actually launch it was decreased too. So Tentabrella is now almost usable, which is pretty cool, because Tentabrella is a fun weapon to play. It was just bad before, so I might actually be using it now. Toxic Mist got less, has less ink consumption. And, oh wow, Toxic Mist got some buffs and some nerfs. Okay. Toxic Mist, Ink Saver sub does less, decreases the ink consumption for it less, although it does have less ink consumption now, and you do get your ink recovered. Your ink does start recovering faster, almost half a second now, which is pretty cool. I like how they say 25/60ths of a second instead of just 25 frames, because like anyone who's actually looking up these patch notes is someone who probably knows that the frame rate of the game is 60 frames per second, so you could just say 25 frames instead of putting it as a fraction that my mathy mind is annoyed at, because you can simplify that a lot. You can divide 25 and 60 by 5, and you'll get, it's, what, that's 5/8, isn't it? No, that's not 5/8. I need to, hold on. 5/12. Yeah, you could reduce that to 5/12, and it would be the same. They just wanted to do it in frames without acknowledging that frame rates are a thing for some reason. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling. Toxic Mist now only lasts 5 seconds, going down from 7. So you can recover your ink. It takes less ink, and you can recover your ink faster from using it, but it lasts less time. So I guess they want you to be more proactive with using them or something. Burst Bomb got a huge nerf. Ink Saver sub is a lot less efficient now, 33% less efficient, so it's only 2/3 as good as it was before, which basically means you're not going to get 2 Burst Bomb builds as easily. You'll need to stack a lot more Sub Saver. I think it's still possible to get 2 Burst Bombs, you'll just need a lot more Sub Saver than before. Tentamissile's got a huge buff, or a huge speed buff, rather. I noticed this myself before seeing the patch notes, actually. The interval between missile launches when locked onto multiple targets in proportion to the number of targets has been reduced. Basically, that means that the more targets you have locked on in your missiles, the faster it will take to launch the missiles at each target. So this rewards you even more for targeting more people. And if you target 4, like, those things go out in basically the same amount of time it would take to shoot 1 pre-patch, which is kind of ridiculous, but also kind of good. So it's really rewarding good, accurate Tentamissile play, which is honestly a really cool buff. I like that Tentamissiles are getting buffed, because they're cool special, but people don't use them for some reason. I don't know. Inkjet. slightly reduce the area in which it's determined an opponent's shots hit the player using the inkjet. Okay, so the hurt box of someone using inkjet has been shrunk again. I don't know if it was shrunk to where it was before, so it's harder to shoot down inkjets again. Maybe not as hard as it used to be before inkjet was nerfed in the first place, but I don't know. Also, this isn't listed in the English patch notes for some reason, but the shots now travel 19% faster, so it's easier to hit people with it. That was my one big issue with using inkjet before, so maybe I'll be using Tentactech or Custom Blaster more often with that, because it was only the shot velocity that kept me from playing inkjet so much, in all honesty. Stingray got a 15 frame duration buff, or not duration buff, duration nerf, which isn't a big enough nerf. Stingray needs a bigger nerf. Just get rid of the Kamehameha and I'll be good. Or something. I don't know. Stingray needs to be nerfed more. This one is because it's not really a step. It's a step in the right direction. It's not great. Then Salmon Run. They added the Salmon and Smokeyard stage. They added more weapons to it in the shoal. They changed every other issue. They changed every... There were a couple bug fixes in Salmon Run that caused eggs to not appear, or a sound effect for like a cannon or something to not play. But for some reason they also listed like almost every other bug fix they listed in the regular multiplayer section for some reason, but I don't know. But yeah, that was a huge, very, very large update, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean, it's only getting better. They didn't fix things like the latency, which actually I think that's going to be my next thing. My next video is probably going to be about the latency issue in Splatoon 2 and like why that's actually a big problem, why people are complaining about it, and also why you can't blame the developers for this. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to be doing next time, because it's something that it's a thing that needs to be talked about. Didn't fix that. Didn't fix things like the netcode, though. I'm assuming that once the Switch Online service goes up, that will be better. So I can hold out on that, not complain about it. And also, we're getting new maps. We're getting new weapons. The Hydra Splatling is finally out. That's amazing. That in and of itself is enough to make the... I don't play it, but a lot of people were complaining about it not being in, so that's enough to make me say this is a good patch. And we're also getting new maps. We're getting a Science Museum map to compensate for the Art Museum you got last game. So it's pretty cool. This was a very good update. It's motivating a lot of people who'd almost dropped the game to pick it up again, which is really good. Maybe competitive is going to be less dead too going forwards. So yeah, that's my spiel on the update. This has been almost 24 minutes of me talking. Tune in next time when I talk about something else. I'm going to talk about the latency issue. Now that I'm back with my capture card, I can be streaming stuff more. Very, very early next Sunday morning, I will be entering a Japanese tournament with my team, actually, which is going to be the first time I'm doing that, so that's pretty cool. Stay tuned for an announcement video about a stream of that, maybe. But yeah, I've been rambling, so, as always, follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Subscribe for more Splatoon 2 stuff, while Let's Play Xenoblade Chronicles X, and whatever random stuff I come up with. And until next time, this is Luxon, signing off.